Welcome ladies and gentlemen, my name is dr.J and in this video I would like to show you all the possible endings in Hollow Knight. Obviously there is a huge amount of spoilers, so if you would like to avoid them, please complete the game at least once. I will be going through the endings in the order you could unlock them in a single run of the game. Since several actions you perform can lock you out of certain endings, this is the only possible way to achieve them in a single save file. So, without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so after we've absorbed the three dreamers, we can go straight to the Temple of the Black Egg and confront the Hollow Knight. We must do this before we get the Void Heart charm in order to unlock the first ending. The fastest way to get to the temple is by using the stack to travel to Dirtmouth and then going down the well and to the right. Once there, the cocoon will open and you can enter the sealed space where the Hollow Knight is waiting us. Just before the boss room, you'll find a bench where you could change your charms or heal if you want to. Now let's break these chains and face our sibling. I will crop the fight since it takes a while. This ending shows us how the little knight absorbs the corruption inside his big sibling and takes his place sealed inside the cocoon. Unfortunately, this changes little, as the cause of all this still remains and will more than likely one day find a way to once more influence the inhabitants of Hallownest. For the second ending, we will be doing exactly the same thing, but this time after we get the Void Charm. So once again we go to Dirtmouth and then drop down in the well. The unfortunate consequences of having minions is that you have no way of controlling them. Okay, so this time Hornet is waiting for us outside the cocoon.
La venido.
And her presence is the crucial difference that will affect how this journey ends. The space inside is exactly the same. You still have the bench that you could use. This right here is what allows you to track your in-game progress. The completion percentage is visible in the bottom right of the inventory page. Now let's shatter his chains again and free him to fight us. Unlike the previous one, this fight will go quickly, so I'll show it in its entirety. And Hornet enters the fray. At this point you have two choices. First, let's try simply slashing at the Hollow Knight. This will allow us to absorb the corruption inside him, similarly to the previous ending. Same as the last time, at the moment you manage to absorb the corruption sealed inside the Hollow Knight, you get a quick glimpse of its true appearance. Since we failed to change the fight in any meaningful way, the only difference now is that Hornet will be sealed alongside us in the cocoon, and her presence will serve as an additional seal, similar to the Dreamers before that. This is the sealed siblings ending. In some sense, this is an even worse ending, since we've doomed Hornet as well. Let's see if we can't make things better. We can get the third ending immediately following the second one. Let's just go back and refight the Hollow Knight. This time, while Hornet is pinning him down, we will use the Dream Nail in order to confront what has been sealed inside the Hollow Knight. Now that we are here, we can challenge the cause of the plague in Hallownest and finally put an end to all the suffering. The Radiance is the old ruler of these lands before the arrival of the Pale King. You can see her image in the statue atop the Crystal Peak. While much weaker than the Absolute Radiance we'll be fighting in the Pantheon of Hallownest, Radiance is still a formidable opponent. All of her attacks still do 2 masks of damage, so make sure you don't underestimate her. Still, thanks to the priest build I'm using, the fight should not pose too much of a problem. With the first phase over, let's start climbing those platforms. Remember, this is a good opportunity to heal if you need to. Falling down in the void only takes one mask of damage, so it's sometimes preferable than risking eating an attack. And with this, the fight is pretty much over. She barely has any health left. After transforming in the void creature and ripping the radiance apart, we will be getting the third ending, called Dream No More. It's also known as the true ending, as this was the final ending before the DLCs existed. With their resound debtor gone, the knight and his siblings go back to the void, leaving the future in the hands of Hornet. The next ending is accessible after completing the Pantheon of Hallownest without first giving the delicate flower to the Godseeker. Make sure you first achieve this ending, as giving the flower is similar to obtaining the Void Charm. It's irreversible and will lock you out of this ending. This ending is similar to the previous one, but since we are in the realm the Godseeker has created, both the Radiance and the Void can show the true extent of their powers. And because of that, the consequences of our actions are felt much more strongly throughout the world. The ending is called Embrace the Void and shows the Void spilling onto the real world after we have removed its greatest adversary. Thankfully Hornet is still around, though she may have her hands full right now. Now let's go to the final ending. First we need to go to the traitor Ward's child's grave. There we can collect a delicate flower. The grave is located just above the Queen's station. There is an unlimited amount of flowers, so you can retry your journey as much as you need to. Here we are. It's a good idea to place a dream gate in case you don't manage to one-shot it. I certainly couldn't. Now just grab one of the flowers and let's go. The easiest path would be to go through the fungal wastes into the City of Tears by way of the main entrance. Unfortunately, I forgot to open the side entrance into the city and found that out when I was already at the gate. The side entrance can be opened from the inside of the City of Tears by going above the gate and using the descending dark spell to destroy the floor. You can then go near the nailsmith's hut and use the shortcut below the hut that leads directly to the junk pit. If you haven't opened that shortcut, however, you need to do what I did and take the long path throughout the royal waterways. In any case, first we need to reach the Fog Canyon. Be very careful of the spiny husks in this area. In my opinion, it's best to kill them quickly, since it's unlikely you'll be able to off-screen them before they shoot at you. And their spikes are not very easy to dodge. That being said, they're also very close to the traitor child's grave, so it's not a huge time loss if you do get hit. Once we get to the Fog Canyon, we still have to watch out for the jellyfish, though it's not particularly hard to avoid them. After that, we go through Queen's Station and then drop down in the fungal wastes. There's nothing you need to worry about in this room. Just go right and drop down in the hole. Keep this place in mind, as this is the first spot where we could find Mr. Mushroom. You can hear him mumbling when entering the room from the top. Now let's go down and through the shortcut on the right. If we had opened the side entrance to the main gate of the City of Tears, we could have gone up through the top exit and then right crossing the bridge to the city. Since we can't though, we have to go all the way down and access the royal waterways by its connection to the fungal wastes. Which is not a particularly difficult journey either, since the mantis will be friendly. I went in the wrong direction for a bit. Okay, we're going all the way down past the bench on the right and we'll use the exit on the bottom left. There's only a bit more going down until we reach the entrance to the royal waterways on the right. Now we have to go all the way to the right until we reach the bench in this area. This part of the journey through the royal waterways is not particularly difficult. Most enemies are easily avoidable. The only ones you have to watch out for are the fluke-faced. They're fast, so it's best to deal with them from a distance if possible. This room is extremely easy to get through. You could even super dash in the large open area with no risk whatsoever. And we've reached the bench. Okay, so this part of the waterways is where things start to get a bit more difficult. I recommend being very cautious with the fluke mons and completely destroying them before moving on. After dodging the belfry, we need to go up and to the left. Here we have to fight another flukemon, but the most difficult part are the flukemungus. You have to be extremely careful with them. A nice trick you can do is stick to the walls of the gaps in the floors with the super dash. That way you can wait for them to pass you by without having to worry about getting hit. After we get through them, it's a straight shot to the Godseeker. Now just give them the flower and we are all set for the, what I consider, best ending. Now all that's left is completing the Pantheon of Hallownest again and defeating the Absolute Radiance. Easy, right? Keep in mind that if you haven't obtained the Embrace the Void ending, giving the delicate flower will lock you out of it. Okay, let's go. I'll skip the fights and go straight to the ending. Okay, after we beat the Radiant silly, the Void will, like in the previous ending, start flooding Godhome. However, once it starts seeping out into the real world, it touches the delicate flower and disappears completely. I take this to mean that now Hallownest is free from both the Void and the Radiance. And the books that are left can now start rebuilding without having to rely on any gods or deities. What's going to happen to Hornet and the Hollow Knight though still remains a mystery. And that's it for the Delicate Flower ending. We have just one more left. All that's left now is the secret ending. In order to unlock it, we need the Spore Shroom charm equipped. Now we'll go interact with the Riddle tablet that's located in a secret room in Kingdom's Edge. The easiest way to get there is via the connection between King's Station and Kingdom's Edge. I'm not entirely sure whether actually interacting with the tablet is a requirement for the ending, but it will give you hints on where the Herald is located. The tablet is located near Group 29. Once we reach the bottom of the vertical shaft, we'll start going right. And we'll keep on going right until we pass Nailmaster Oro's hut and drop down the hole we've created with a dive spell. Wasting time with the hoppers is purely optional. And that was a great intercept. Truly, this giant hopper would be an awesome draft. We could have went through this hole as well, but I think the one further right is a bit more convenient, since it will place us near the tablet. Here we are. Now we'll just drop down. Now we'll just follow the tunnels until we reach the entrance on the bottom right. Don't worry, I would never miss an opportunity to get impaled on spikes. And over here is the entrance. Now we drop down a couple of times, and in the middle of the third vertical shaft is the hidden room with the Riddle tablet. Apart from the first one, each line of the poem reveals the location of the Herald. We have to visit those locations in the specified order, otherwise the Herald will not move to the next one, and thus we can't progress the quest. Now that we know the locations, let's use the Dream Gate and travel first to Queen Station. From there we can go right into the fungal wastes and the first location of the Herald. It really doesn't matter much where you place the Dream Gate as long as it's near a stack station, since we'll be traveling all across the Hallownest Kingdom while following the Herald. Okay, so as I said, we'll go first to Queen Station and the fungal wastes. Now we'll continue going right until we reach the big hole and drop down in it. Just to the left is the Herald. You can hear him mumble. In order to start your conversation with him, you need to hit him with your nail. For the most part, his dialogue is not addressed at you. In this particular case, it's a reference to Team Cherry's previous game, Hungry Night. Hungry Night can be considered as somewhat of a prototype of Hollow Knight, since it features the Little Knight as well as the Dreamers, though the gameplay is very much different. The next location we need to visit is in Kingdom's Edge. We will again be using the shortcut connecting King's Station to Kingdom's Edge. As usual, let's drop down to ground level and use the super dash until we reach the hole in the wall. And as usual, let's fail to avoid the venge flies. This is another good spot for a super dash. The next location for Mr. Mushroom is opposite the entrance of the hive we've unlocked in the vertical shaft near the ancient basin. We need to go all the way to the left and drop down the hole. Mr. Mushroom is hidden away in a small cave somewhere around the middle point of the vertical shaft. I'm certain all of the dialogue lines of Mr. Mushroom reference something, but apart from the one in the first meeting, I have no clue what the others are. Okay, so the next one is a bit annoying. We need to travel to Deep Nest. So let's take the stack to the distant village station. Mr. Mushroom is located to the left of Galian's grave. Now we can super dash and drop down to the ledge below. Next we need to go all the way to the right and then up towards the failed tramway. Kill the stalking devout and continue on. In this room we need to go a bit more to the right and then start going up. Okay, we are nearly there. Now we'll just hug the left wall and continue climbing until we reach an exit to the left. And now we can super dash to the left until we reach Mr. Mushroom. Mr. Mushroom can also be dream-nailed, and his dialogue hints that he has existed at least as far as the time before the Pale King has arrived in Hallownest. The next location is very easy to get to. Again, Dreamgate out of here, and this time we will take the stack to the Stagnest station. Let's use another super dash to quickly get to the elevator and exit the station. Next we need to go a bit to the right beyond Gorb's grave and enter Matu's hut. Phew! I almost missed those spikes. Mr. Mushroom is all the way to the back of the hut. Next location is in the ancient basin, another easy to reach spot. All we have to do is get the stack to the hidden station and then go all the way to the left to where we got the monarch wings. We'll be using the super dash a lot here, which is a good thing since it will save a lot of travel time. Now we drop down a bit here and then we continue with the super dash. And another one. Just try to remember to cut it short and not get impaled on the spikes. You can use the super dash again here, but there's not a lot of room for that. Regardless, it's only a short trip to Mr. Mushroom from here. And here it's time for the final super dash. Here he is. Just two more left. Next is just below the overgrown mound, which means we need to go to Queen's Garden Station and then go right and up a bit towards the connection with Fog Canyon. It's a very short and easy trip. Now let's drop down a bit and go right. We'll go a bit more to the right and then take the exit at the top. Now it's only a short walk to the left until we find Mr. Mushroom. And we're nearly done. The last location is near the very beginning of the game. It's just to the left of where you fell down in King's Pass during the intro sequence. Which means we'll have to get to Dirtmouth and then travel to the left, backtracking through those first few rooms we went through. Again, use the super dash here to get to the cliff. And now we just climb it. Another super dash and we're nearly there. Now that I look at the map, it seems like it should be possible to get to Mr. Mushroom by falling from the edge of the Howling Cliffs, but I'm not certain how the transitions work. As always, if you guys have any info I've missed, I would love to hear from you. This is another good place for a super dash, since it's a straight shot to Mr. Mushroom. And finally he recognizes our presence. Well, that was a lounge even Elon Musk would be envious of. Well, all that's left now in order to unlock the secret ending is to complete the game. And the easiest and fastest way to do that is by going back to Dirtmouth and then the Temple of the Black Egg. Let's exit the station and drop down the well. Now let's go right until we reach the temple. Super dash to the right again and just fight the Hollow Knight as you normally would. In order to save time, don't dream nail him. Okay, so now we'll have to let the normal ending play, and after all the credits roll, we'll unlock the secret ending. I'll speed up the credits a bit, but not cut them out, since I would like to thank the amazing people at Team Cherry for creating such an awesome game. I would also like to use this opportunity to ask a simple question. Silksong when? Hey guys, with this video we are pretty much done with the main game mode. The last thing I would like to show you is how to mod the game and 112% completion run in Steel Soul mode with mods. I am very excited about them as modding is a huge passion for me. As always, if you've enjoyed it, please press the like button, and if you have any questions or comments, I would love to hear from you. This will really help me to provide better content for you guys. Thank you for spending your time with me and hope to see you again next time. Until then, have a good one.